Amberlynn Reid recently teased some bad news on her channel, which resulted in the temporary delay of both her scheduled video and her riveting members-only livestream. But what could this bad news be? Another health scare? A new diagnosis? Could there be another cellulitis era on the way, thanks to some of those pesky cellulitis puddles that seem to pool outside her apartment complex? Some have even speculated this is a planned delay to avoid clashing with Foodie Beauty, who is currently undergoing radicalization in one of the world's most dangerous cities. If your closest rival is producing the sort of content you would normally see on the back of your eyelids after taking horse tranquilizers, how do you compete with that? As a woman with nothing to offer, no skills, no friends, and no interests, all you can do is dip until the Chantal Nadeau passes through Gorewald and survey the damage from there. The truth is, Amberlynn is quickly losing ground to the new queen of Girlworld. We are sick to death of these frivolous torrid holes. I'm tired of seeing Amberlynn holding up great swathes of gaudy fabric that look big enough to hide a tank from an overhead drone. If I have to see her pudgy sausage fingers clumsily molesting 2 Lego bricks together one more time, I will scream. And those bariatric bingo outings might be the most tragic content ever uploaded to Skynet's server. She even spent weeks hyping up a water journey, the likes of which we haven't seen since Noah built the Ark, and it ended up lasting for 1 cup of Brita-filtered sink water before she was back on the single-use plastic. The only way for this bad news to distract from Foodie Beauty is for it to be something absolutely wild, something we never expect. Not diabetes or cellulitis or another rotten tooth. It has to be nuts. My leading hope is that she's been conscripted into a future war with an alien race, whose only known weakness is lipedema. But what are your theories? Let me know in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe.
I do have some unique things about me, sure, but I don't think that I'm special in any way.
I'm so much better than majority of you.
In everybody's life, there comes a day when you have to step back and take in the bigger picture. You have to look at yourself from the outside, explore your existence objectively and as a whole. You have to ask questions, be curious, say things like, what am I doing with my life? What makes me happy? Do I do all that I can to benefit my family and friends? Why am I spending so much time dissecting the every whim of a tedious £550 monster on YouTube? Am I obsessed with Amberlynn Reid? For me, that day is today. In Amberlynn's newest upload, she spent much of the 23-minute runtime huffing her own farts, thanks to the incoherent ramblings of a handful of simpletons in her Instagram DMs. They asked her, "Why do you think people are obsessed with you? Why are so many losers commenting hate every single day? How do you find the strength to upload 30 minutes of dogshit footage a week in the face of such hatred? And what did poor, wickle, innocent Amberlynn Reid do to deserve this?" Now, I can't speak for every hater out there, but for me it's pretty simple. Amberlynn Reid should not be allowed to exist online in peace. Not after everything she has done to her friends, her family, and most of all, her partners. She's a bully, a narcissist, an abuser, a liar, and perhaps worst of all, fat. I'm just joking, of course, about the last one. The truth is, none of us care if she's fat. Sure, we make the odd joke here and there thanks to the sheer absurdity of her Lovecraftian geometry, but I would still hate this bitch if she were built like Ariana Grande. It's not about what she looks like, it's about who she is and what she's done. I owe it to myself to never let this woman catch another victim off guard. I want every person who discovers her to know exactly what they're getting into. And I will acknowledge that Amberlynn had a terrible childhood, full of neglect and alleged abuse from family members, including her mom. This by no means makes her unique though, and doesn't excuse the behaviour she displays in her own life. No one should be subjected to the kind of childhood Amber had, and I'm sure it's very hard to go through. But Amberlynn uses this experience to excuse herself from criticism, while seeking zero help or therapy using her vast resources. And it's this empathy that Amber preys on to win over her Ambabies. And on that note, For any Am babies who stumble across this video, I'll tell you this. My boot will be staying on Amberlynn Reid's neck until the very day I die. If Amberlynn Reid has 100 haters, I am one of them. If Amberlynn Reid has 10 haters, I am amongst them. If Amberlynn Reid has only one hater, it's me. And if Amberlynn Reid has no haters, it surely means I am dead. It's truly sad to me when her viewers send in messages saying they've been a fan for years and know her better than they know their best friends. I don't even know how it's possible to be a fan of Amberlynn for more than a month without being medically lobotomized. Her content is dull, repetitive, insulting, lazy. She's taken her own fans for fools, and being her fan in the year of our Lord 2025 represents an enormous character flaw. So take this as you want. Think of me as a loser if you want, but if you're in her comments defending her, then you owe it at least to yourself to educate yourself on who you're defending. Why not start with Mr. Snowflake, or Under the Hood? There's plenty of content over there to start you off. Tell him Jawbone sent you.
I have wasted a lot of food because of this, and my brain tells me, Amberlynn, that's not true. It's fine. They didn't poison it. They didn't touch it. They didn't lick it. My brain has told me that there is sperm in some of the foods.
If I had $1 for every time Amberlynn Reid talked about ingesting ejaculate this month, I'd have $2. I know that's not much, but it's weird that it happened twice, isn't it? Before the members-only livestream, where Amberlynn implied her DoorDashers were having Tommy Tanks in her teriyaki sauce, we got to see her latest weekly vlog and hear more delusional disregard of her rapidly failing health. In a downward slope not seen since SSX Tricky on the PlayStation 2, 34-year-old Amberlynn Reid is aging worse than Season 2, Episode 8 of Quantum Leap. In her latest weekly vlog, Amberlynn told us that she has to see the doctor again, and we were lucky enough to go with her. After an existentially devastating shot of her dainty feet poking out like a pair of erect nipples from underneath her vast legs, I had a sudden urge to take a quick break and read Mr. Forgetful by Roger Hargreaves to my daughter. Upon my return, Amber seemed in high spirits and explained that she was thankful for her doctor, thankful for liver function tests, thankful for kidney disease blood screenings, and especially thankful for Zoloft, her prescribed antidepressants, because they made her not want to unalive herself. Spoiler alert, you still are, Amber. The shot immediately after the doctor's waiting room was a clip of a chocolate swirl frozen yogurt she had on the way home. That's cause and effect, summed up in a matter of 2 frames. Amber also told us that for a few weeks now, she's been experiencing a nagging itch in the palms of her hands. After Googling it and finding that it could be a sign of one of her internal organs shutting down, Amber decided the best course of action was to dig at her palms with a pair of scissors, so much that she was left with a series of raw red welts bubbling up like stinky stigmata in the middle of her palms. I mean, I knew Amber had some sort of messiah complex, but I think this is taking it a bit far, to be honest. And despite clearly gaining weight, Amber blames her high-octane, jet-setting lifestyle for the lack of weigh-ins, claiming that she was unable to find the time thanks to the multiple doctor visits and bingo outings. Amber has weighed the same as most heavy ordnance for years now, and I can't see it changing as her mobility reduces, her stress levels increase, and her health plummets. The vlog ends with Amber taking a trip out on the 4th of July dressed as Maximum Mouse, and despite Amber's natural instinct to lurk underneath a bridge, she found herself on top of one as the fireworks exploded in the background. All in all, it was another turgid, depressing pile of crap masquerading as content. With new diagnoses coming thick and fast, it seems Amberlynn may be entering her own cirrhosis era.
Liver, I've had a fatty liver for a while. Like, I found out when I was like 23.
Same time next week, eh? It's been a bad day for world-renowned human beanbag and completely reliable narrator Amberlynn Reid. who has come under fire from former flame and feeder Tommy, aka Emily, and had to combat rumours of her own demise in the last 24 hours alone. With no weigh-in Wednesday, no gorge with me, and no correspondence since her Monday vlog upload, many were wondering if Amber's rapidly escalating health concerns had finally come knocking. Rumour had it that the Grim Reaper had fired up his forklift and paid Amberlynn a visit, thanks to a series of seemingly random comments on her recent community post. It was also morbidly believable, thanks to the £540 princess's rapidly spiralling health. But was she actually dead? Or was it all just the work of some particularly uninspired trolls? Amber put that to bed with a passive-aggressive and typically histrionic community post, where Persecution Reid promised to ignore the hate, ignore the rumours, and preserve her mental health from those who wish her ill. The rumours, she said, are baseless and false, and she certainly won't be addressing them in today's Members Only Live, where she has nothing else even remotely notable to talk about whatsoever for 2 hours. No siree. But wait, she said rumours, plural? What's the other rumour? Well, thanks to a screenshot mishap and self-docs on Reddit, Amberlynn's former funneler, Emily, was caught sharing her own controversial comment to a Girl World subreddit. The comment in question shone doubt upon the fate of Rarity, Amberlynn's erstwhile cat, whose disappearance had been the topic of many conspiracies in the last year. Tommy implies that Rarity did not, in fact, explore too hard in the Wisconsin winter, and was actually let out by Amber on purpose, simply to extend her stay in Wisconsin. This rumour is not new, and was actually an ongoing theory at the time. The suspicious timing of Rarity's exile, and the mysterious nature of the relationship of these two absolute freaks, was a popular topic, with many wondering why exactly Amberlynn took her entire worldly belongings on a weeks-long stay in a different state, along with all her pets.
So I got them both in there, and it's honestly the saddest thing in the world. For some reason, Rarity is freaking out, but Wasabi is like calm as a cucumber.
Was Emily aware that Amber was essentially moving herself in? Did Emily isolate Amber, lock her in the house, and crawl under her folds at night like a quarter-ton tauntaun? Or did she woefully underestimate the neurotic nightmare she was welcoming into her home? It was all very mysterious and dramatic, like an episode of Pretty Little Liars. Well, not pretty. Or little. You know what I mean. With Emily feeding us crumbs of tea before being spooked back into silence, and Amberlynn never talking about it, we might never know the truth. Until then, make sure to subscribe and become a boner, and leave your theories about Amber's pussy in the comments below. With Amberlynn Reid having more public online crash-outs than Burnout Paradise lately, it was only a matter of time before we got a few more. Already battling accusations from overly enthusiastic personal chef Emily, who recently implied that Amber deliberately let noted explorer and former alive cat Rarity out in the Wisconsin winter late last year, Amber was quickly floored by a new accusation joining the fray. During Oh Lordy It's Geordie's livestream, where he addressed the Rarity situation in his trademark style, Alexis, Amberlynn's former lapdog, and Girl World's very own version of that annoying f***ing Microsoft paperclip, popped up in the corner with a new crumb of information for us to chew on, this time regarding Amberlynn allegedly being mean, physically, to Emily.
So we were very mean to her, physically.
According to Alexis, Emily accused Amberlynn of being a pugilistic porker on at least one occasion during their time together. Emily didn't get to finish the story, as Amberlynn quickly interrupted her, without denying the claim explicitly. This was told to Alexis in person during their Wisconsin trip, so it is purely anecdotal. Take this with a pinch of salt, as I am not a member of Amberlynn's channel. In fact, I would sooner clack my testicles between two bricks. But I have heard from members that she addressed the rumour in her latest livestream, dramatically titled, "This is Goodbye." Despite many attempts to skirt around the subject, and trying to bamboozle the audience with another new, amorphous and non-committal YouTube schedule, the chat eventually pressured her into the drama. Coyly pretending she didn't know what any of these rumours were, Amber quickly found them and immediately hit the audience with an airtight rebuttal. She said, "Well, obviously that's not true. I mean, if you ignore the 3 other ex-partners of Amberlynn's who have accused her of physical and other types of abuse, the decades worth of video footage of her being a nasty little twat, even to her closest friends, then yeah, I guess it is pretty obvious. I'm guessing it'll all come out eventually, but at this point Emily is just edging us with this juicy tea, and I'm sure I'm not the only one who wishes she'd hurry up and get to the money shot already. Oh, and Amber, if you do end up seeing this, because we all know you Google yourself, you know that choker is just a descriptive name, right? It's not a practical application. Maybe it's time to size up on those. I'll drop a link in the description to a good horse collar that might be a bit more comfortable." With Gorewald currently hosting more rancid streams than P. Diddy's hotel room, it's a gargantuan task to keep on top of these morons and their inane nonsense. So when I saw that Amberlynn had gone live, I must say I was a little surprised. She hasn't shown up for her actual job in over 2 weeks, so I thought she might have followed through on that part-time job she mentioned before. But no, I needn't have worried. As usual, the only thing Amberlynn has ever followed through on is Feline's couch.
I lost control of my bowels and I pooped my pants.
In an hour-long series of electrical pulses you could loosely describe as thoughts, Amberlynn sat against a colourless backdrop, wearing a blouse with a glory hole in the chest for some reason, her gossamer hair draping across her boobs, which were, in turn, draped across the lap tray in front of her. Amberlynn spent the entire stream talking about any old shit that popped into her head. She shaded Mommelynn's new hairstyle, saying she would never have it because it would make her look older and fatter.
Why don't you get the same haircut Mommolyn has? It'd make you look 10 years younger. I don't know. I feel like it would make me look older, fatter. It's not my style.
Before noting that the people viewing Mommelynn's Facebook are creepy and weird. Here's a suggestion, Amberlynn. Maybe tell your mum to private that shit if you don't want people seeing it. I'm from Wales in the UK and this woman is even showing up in my friend suggestions. Amberlynn read out some super chats from the general public, ignored several others, especially the ones about her alleged new kitten, and name-dropped a few other channels, most notably Nikocado Avocado. Human pufferfish Nikocado Avocado is a former blob and current twink, who made a vast fortune off his outrageous mukbangs and generally abrasive content style. He gained hundreds of pounds over the years, only to surprise everyone by losing it all suddenly. Amberlynn claims that Nick constantly begged her to collaborate on a mukbang, but after she turned him down once or twice, he got so upset that he ghosted her and started taking shots at her in all of his videos. Does that sound plausible to you, considering Nikocado had multiple millions of subscribers at the time? As a story, it's about as fragile as Amberlynn's back molars. Towards the end of the stream, Amber gets emotional thinking about exploration enthusiast and former cat Rarity, and starts to cry because... Hold on, check my notes. She couldn't take a trophy from the corpse? Wait, that doesn't sound right. Let's listen again.
So I've always said that, like, I want to get my pets cremated, or, you know, I just want something that where they're with me forever. And losing Rarity and like having the unknown has been the most painful thing I've ever felt. Like,
nope, yep, that's exactly what she's saying. It doesn't surprise me that Amber is the type of person to only care about her pets posthumously, neglecting them in life before parading around their mortal remains in a gaudy necklace or something. It's actually quite sad, really. The only time Twinkie's going to get walked now is when her ashes are flapping around on someone's ankle bracelet. For the last 10 minutes of the stream, Amber opened up the exclusive members chat to everyone and anyone, a brazen act of pure disrespect to the people paying her every month. Charging $10 per month for this kind of bone-idle piss is frankly insane to begin with, but then to disrespect those people by giving the chat away? It feels wrong to even witness, like watching a grown man bully a child. Cancel all your memberships, stop the super chats, and maybe this woman will be forced to get a job. Realistically though, what can she even do? She'd make a pretty good bollard. Or a draft excluder. Maybe a goalkeeper? I don't know. Leave your suggestions in the comments. Washcloth aficionado and prolific cat abandoner Amberlynn Reid recently announced a new pricing structure for her coveted memberships during one of her live streams, opening up a reduced cost $5 option alongside the standard $10 tier. With zero difference between the two tiers and no perceivable value at all for either of them, I thought now would be the perfect time to weigh up the costs and benefits and figure out if it's all worth it. So come and sit with me as we crunch the numbers and find out once and for all, should you sign up and become a member on Amberlynn Reid's channel? Let's get started. No. No. Come on. Get a grip on yourself. Grow up.
Okay, I need to stop spending money on stupid shit. This honestly is a waste of money. You should probably stop buying useless junk. You can keep your money, you know. It's not worth. It's just not worth that. It's not happening. It's not worth it. It's just not. I'm just like appalled right now because I feel like it was like a waste of money. Like, save your money, honey. Stop spending your money. You're wasting it. You need to save it. You don't have enough money. Like, girl, you don't even know. Like, I do have enough money. I don't like the whole, oh, you know, if my cat dies, I'm gonna get another one, because that's like replacing it. I will never feel that way.
Oh my god, stop fucking lying.
Famous English playwright Will.i.am Shakespeare once wrote, "Words are easy like the wind. Faithful friends are hard to find." I think this quote quite beautifully sums up the pickle Amberlynn Reid is in right now. Let me explain why. YouTube superstar and cellulitis connoisseur Amberlynn talks a lot. She yaps and yaps for hours on live stream or in her supernaturally boring vlogs, droning on and on like an off-board motor. It's all mundane, mind-numbing swill. And while she fakes a bit of vulnerability from time to time, she stopped being honest a long time ago. She rarely discusses her weight loss after being caught visibly expanding while supposedly on a diet. Her relationships are now very secretive thanks to the incredible array of XL BBW skeletons in her partner's closets. Even the pets are off limits, due to Twinkie's incredible weight gain and the early parole of Rarity late last year, whom she definitely will never replace. There are still secrets she keeps from her audience though, and many of those are finding their way out into the world. Fellow Flaky Award winner and all-around magnificent bastard, Hector Kana, foretold the existence of another cat weeks ago, which, as we now know, was completely accurate. It seems Amberlynn's impenetrable fortress of feeders has a leak, and we got our very first drips from that leak this week. Let's take a look at the latest live stream where the truth about Amber's pussy finally came to light. Gird your loins, for never was a story of more woe than this of Amberlynn Reid and her Romeo. Upon going live, the chat was instantly swamped with messages asking her what was in the background of her last stream, where a tiny cat was clearly visible behind her shoulder. Either Wasabi was really, really far away, or this was the new kitten. Amber played it coy, pretending she didn't know what was happening. Nothing was in the background, you guys. It was a glitch on the live stream.
There wasn't a thing behind me. I don't really know. I know people are saying that there was someone here with a checkered shirt. I think you guys are probably referring to this. This is what I usually have you guys leaned up against, but I'm using my tripod today.
But just like her merch, nobody bought it, and after several minutes of masterful deflection,
Dee doo doo, lee doo dee doo, start digging it in your butt, twin. Okay, Sarah, thank you for the super chat.
Amberlynn finally realised the jig is up. Meet Romeo Ray. The fabled cat foretold in Hector Kana's post is real, and immediately the tears start falling. You see, Amber didn't want to reveal the new cat because she was afraid of the backlash. It's all those nasty haters' fault. Naughty, evil little haters, dragging Rarity 19 hours to Wisconsin and feeding her to the Midwest winter. Those awful, disgusting haters, overfeeding Twinkie to over double the average weight of a chihuahua, forcing her to use pee pads and never taking her on walks. How do they even sleep at night, these awful monsters, knowing Twinkie is terrified of them because of their temper, cowering away when they shout and scream at their partner? Okay, you get it. You get the point. Amber isn't crying here because she's missing Rarity, or because she just loves Romeo so much. She's crying because she feels guilty. Amber has yet to properly address the fact that the rumours of Rarity's deliberate release came directly from Tommy, aka Emily, the most recent feeder and the only other credible witness to the incident. That's why I think it's true. She knows people will say she has replaced Rarity, and she doesn't want to admit that we're right. You can't lose your own cat accidentally on purpose, abandon it in another state, then get a new cat, theme the new cat's name around the murdered cat, and expect people not to draw a link.
Rarity's name was Rarity Gray, as you guys know. So I named him Romeo Ray. So Rarity's memory would always be here.
Amberlynn should not be allowed any pets at this point. She has an elderly dog that needs attention and care to reverse the damage she's already done, something she's clearly incapable of doing herself. Look at the way she avoids using the word walk when answering questions, opting for take out instead, because there's no fucking walking involved.
A regular doggy walker. Oh, I take Twinkie out myself.
I keep an outfit right next to the door for when I take Twinkie out.
Took a quick shower, got ready for the day. I took Twinkie out. I almost fell. To throw my hair up in a bun, take Twinkie out, get comfy. I did go to the hospital. I do take Twinkie out, but I mask up because I do not vape indoors. I vape when I take Twinkie out.
So it has been hours since I last talked to you. I have taken Twinkie out. I have showered.
The act of getting a pet without knowing or intending to meet their needs is in and of itself an act of neglect. But alas, nothing will change. Amberlynn lies, as is her nature. If Romeo had not peeked his tiny head over her mountainous shoulder on that most ominous of nights, then the lie would still be happening now. After a decade of being held to the fire for her lack of it, there is one thing Amber is yet to understand. No legacy is so rich as honesty. Well, 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 how the turns have tabled. It seems the only scale Amberlynn Reid hasn't broken yet are the scales of justice, because they are about to take her measure in what might be the biggest scandal in girl world for years. The Amberverse imploded again this weekend when Machiavellian supervillain and Geordie Div, Mr. Snowflake, revealed that Amberlynn's latest feeder was back for 11s. He has been conducting an exposé with Tommy, aka Emily, sparking a series of events that might actually turn out to be the endgame of Amberlynn's YouTube career. In a decade-long social media career filled with consistent and bountiful dog shit, the ill-fated Wisconsin trip is a truly bizarre blip in the timeline, a period of several weeks in late 2024 where Amberlynn stopped posting videos before returning with a handful of emotional meltdowns direct from Tommy's kitchen table. Even Proving Everyone Wrongmas 2024 turned out to be nothing more than a collection of crying fits masquerading as content.
This is supposed to be Vlogmas, but I feel like it's like I have to prove everyone wrong, miss.
We heard about her mental health, her physical health, and the fallout from the loss of her cat Rarity. But what actually happened in Wisconsin? Who was ultimately responsible for letting Rarity out? It seems like the nut is finally ready to bust, thanks to Mr. Snowflake's late-night liaisons with Tommy, aka Emily, Amberlynn's former funneler, and the host of Amberlynn's Wisconsin Wonderland. It turns out that a lot of that visit came as quite the surprise to Emily, including the sheer volatility of Gravy Boat Lynn and the lengths she would go just to force her way into someone's life. But before the information could even be released, Amberlynn panicked and went live, hoping to get ahead of the allegations, admit to a few things, spin a yarn or two, and fabricate as much as she possibly could. She claims that they have been in a relationship the whole time, on and off, up until a couple of days ago.
But we haven't been together this whole time. This whole fucking time.
Where each mini breakup was followed by Emily dragging Amberlynn on Reddit. She claims that in one response, Emily even referred to her as Pocahontas, which I'm actually kind of jealous of. Amberlynn even took the opportunity to blame Emily for Rarity's disappearance, admitting that she lied before. None of the story she told at the time of the disappearance was true. She says it was actually Emily who stormed out after an argument and left the door open. Amberlynn didn't notice Rarity was gone for a full 24 hours. This seems unlikely to me. Emily is a pet owner with a dog and a cat herself. Would she really just leave the door wide open like that? And more to the point, why was she leaving for work through the back door when her car was parked out the front? It also doesn't seem likely that Amber wouldn't notice her own cat was missing until a full day later. Did she just not feed them during that time? Did she change the litter? I'm sorry, hun. I'ma say that's a fib. Amongst the various other claims and admissions were accusations of intimidation, physical violence, cheating, verbal insults, accidental body slams, Tumblr tummy pics, phantom dog piss, and even allusions to a video, supposedly hard evidence of a half-naked violent outburst by Amber, which she brushed off as a BPD moment.
And then I get another text, I have video proof of you being terrible to me. Yes. A video proof of me reacting to your betrayal, me unmedicated with BPD, correct?
Amber is confident the video can never be released, because her massive muff is hanging out. However, I wouldn't be quite so sure about that if I were her. This 2.5-hour stream was quite clearly nothing more than attempted damage control, but ended up an incoherent mess of blatant lies, half-truths, omittance, admittance, and outright denial with zero evidence provided. It's a video that no doubt will come back to haunt her when Captain Cardigan's video drops, and some of Emily's receipts are made public. Unfortunately, it's unlikely we'll ever know the full truth, even after the dust has settled. Only 2 people were present for the mystery of Oshkosh, so the best we can do is hear both sides, examine the receipts, if any, and make our judgment from there. Usually, that would put the truth somewhere in the middle, but ask yourself this. What would change if one of those people present were known, proven, pathological liars with a pattern of abuse dating back 20 years? Someone who has a trail of broken ex-partners laying in her wake, who have all told eerily similar stories to Emily. I suppose we'll have to wait until all the information is out before we decide where the scale falls. Scottish poet Sir Walter Scott once wrote, "Oh, what a tangled web we weave, when first we practice to deceive." A cautionary phrase about the complicated nature of lies, and one that Amberlynn would do well to heed. In the meantime, I'll be in a random arcade in Devon playing Animal Kaiser and collecting my thoughts for when I get back. Captain Cardigan annoyingly decided to drop this bombshell on the week I'll be on holiday. The man's a total fanny, but make sure you turn your notifications on for Under the Hood and his main channel. See you soon, besties.